What is going on, guys? This is the Club with the Man 1993, and after a very, crazy, not really crazy, but just like me going nuts, trying to make sure I get everything in before the pay-per-view tonight. Very last minute, but I got graphics. They look good. I almost decided to do this without the graphics, but despite the fact that we are about 2.5 hours away from the pay-per-view, and I'm squeezing in these predictions, I think we are good. I only got about an hour, if I'm a few minutes past, who cares? Well, not really care, but I'm supposed to be my friends for 7 just to catch the first quarter of the Penguins game with my friends before the pay-per-view tonight, but if I miss a few minutes, it's no big deal. But we're here live, and I'm glad I waited until after I got everything. I said earlier, my quick Dynamite review. I had a lot of things to do. I've gotten everything done except for this stream that I wanted to do today before I left for Full Gear. And we'll go watch Full Gear with my friends. I wish I could go to the pay-per-view in person, but someday, hopefully, AEW will get a pay-per-view in Pittsburgh. Maybe, we'll see. But of course, after Full Gear tonight, I'm going down to my girlfriend, spend the night with her, and the whole day with her tomorrow. So probably don't expect a Full Gear review until Monday. But what's going on, guys? As always, this is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here live for my live preview and predictions for AEW Full Gear 2021, the third installment of Full Gear. 2019's was good. I would say 2020's Full Gear was my pay-per-view of the year, definitely. 2021's Full Gear, I say this to be a good show. It does have potential to be a very good show, I still think. I will say that most of these matches are not predictable. Most of them, at least. There's only maybe just a couple. Let me see here. There's only one, probably 2, and 3. 3 matches that I think are pretty predictable. The rest of them, oh boy, the results are not predictable at all. It was tough for me to pick. There's 2 singles, well, not really 2 single matches. Most of these matches, I had a hard time picking who I think is going to win the match. I will say this, though. My only gripe about AEW Full Gear, it's kind of following a pattern that several pay-per-views had that kind of bothered me just a little bit. And that's the fact that half of the matches we're getting on this show are tag matches. I don't know. It's like, I don't mind tag team feuds, but it's always a bunch of, randomness thrown together. Well, not completely random. Most of these do have a story. One of them is more so like 2 feuds like colliding into one match that honestly, if it doesn't go any further than where it needs to go, I'm going to start saying stuff like, okay, like this guy's got to go a different direction or else, basically. But I don't know. It's just the fact that there's like a lot of tag matches. I'm like, let's just throw it like, it's not lazy because there's actually a story behind it, but it's like, you don't have to have that many tag matches. I don't know. To me, it just takes away a little bit of the story. We only have 3 title matches on this show, which, is fine. The women's title, the world title, and the tag titles are on the line in this show. We have a number 1 contenders match, we have a Falls Count Anywhere match, and we got a Minneapolis street fight, which I believe is all the stipulation matches. Let me double check that, and I'm pretty sure that is, yes. But my expectations for Full Gear aren't as high as All Out. All Out, there was just a lot of rumblings of a bunch of debuts, which a lot even more happened at All Out. There was just a lot of, big moment matches that happened. Obviously the return of CM Punk and his first match back. The rumors of Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole coming to AEW, and so many other things happening. But I don't think this is going to be as good as All Out, but I have the faith it's going to be a good show. I think it will be fun. We'll have a lot of car crashing matches. Maybe a heel turn or two, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe a debut or two I will mention as well. But we'll just have to wait and see. Of course, there is rumblings. Tonight could be the night for AEW to let him in. Maybe. We'll see. I'll talk about that later on in the show. But let's roll in. We've got 10 matches, including the buy-in. So hopefully, it stays how it has been. Going, 4 hours. Again, I don't mind 4 hours as long as they use the proper usage of their time. I mean, most of these matches, you could probably, not all of them, but I'd say, let me see here. One, the buy-in match, that doesn't count. But I'd say Pac, Cody, Malachi, and Andrade shouldn't get to a heck of a lot of time. Punk and Eddie, I'd say give them about 10 minutes. Women, most of these some of these matches, I feel like you don't have to give them too much time, but there's some I don't know, maybe the Falls Count Anywhere match gets about 15 minutes. Trying to see what else ones. I mean, I'm not sure what. Maybe I'm probably the World Tag Title match. Some of these matches I feel like don't need a heck of a lot of time. Definitely give that main event a lot of time though. Give that main event about 20 minutes, I'd say, with Omega and Paige, which we'll talk about that, of course, at the very end. So like I said, as long as, I always say this, I mean, yes, some of these shows are long, as long as they make good usage of their time, and, pan out the card properly, give the cool-down matches, the right time, give the fans, their chance to catch their breath, start off hot, but settle them down a bit. Then, again, it's going to be, I don't mind, these shows are 3.5, 4 hours. Because I trust that AEW and Tony Khan, of course, know how to make good usage of their time. There's no casino battle royales or anything in this show, which, fine. So, without further ado, let's just roll in and talk about the show. The buy-in match, which I'm probably not going to watch, it's just a random women's tag match with Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida taking on the team of Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter. Very random team there. I honestly would not have minded this being maybe instead of Jamie Hayter being maybe Serena Deeb instead, since, well, she was kind of teasing a feud with Hikaru Shida. But I still feel since Shida did beat Deeb the following week and got that 50th win, it felt a little bit pointless then. But this match is whatever. I mean, we've seen Nyla Rose and Hikaru Shida go at it how many times over the couple years of AEW so far. So this is just fine. This is the way to probably get Thunder Rosa another victory, as they continue to tease that she's probably gonna be the one to dethrone Britt Baker. I'd say maybe give it to at least Double or Nothing. Like I said, I love Hikaru Shida, but if she can have a year-long reign, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, also should be having a year-long reign with, how great she is, of course. So, I'd say the babyfaces are going to get the win here. Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter getting the win here would be just completely random to me. But, give it to the babyfaces. They get the victory on the buy-in. The main card, I think the best opener to start off with is this 6-man tag Falls Count Anywhere match. Adam Cole, Bay, and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, also known as, of course, the Super Click, taking on the team of Christian Cage and Jurassic Express's Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Again, this is a Falls Count Anywhere 6-man tag match. So basically, kind of maybe treat in tornado tag rules. I'm not sure, but this is definitely going to be a car crashing, spot fest. Anytime Adam Cole is in the match, you always know it's going to be a spot fest. He's always going to have the moments in there. The Young Bucks, are also going to be able to perform that as well. Again, Christian Cage is, been awesome. He's been in AEW now since Revolution, so it's coming up on a year and a couple months. Luchasaurus, is great. Jungle Boy, again, Jungle Boy is that one that they've definitely wanted to push, and I'm glad they kind of slowly made him feel relevant, but then once the crowds came back, you really have gone all out with him. I would love them to throw a bone and give Jungle Boy and them the victory here, but this is Adam Cole's first pay-per-view match with the Super Click. I mean, I could definitely see it going either way here. I have the reasons why. I would like to see Jurassic Express win and throw Jungle Boy a bone and give him a win on pay-per-view, because have they ever had a win on pay-per-view? Quite frankly, I wouldn't have minded, them keeping the belts. That's the only thing I'm going to knock all out about is that, yes, the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks had an excellent match, but during a time where they strengthened what's it called? The Elite by bringing in Adam Cole, of course. I wouldn't mind them keeping the belts on the Young Bucks and kept this feud going, because as much as I love the Lucha Bros, the team that beat them, I felt still in the end was definitely Jurassic Express, and especially a good way to throw Jungle Boy a bone. I mean, that's the only about AEW with how stacked their roster is. There's some people, it's they're good at still keeping them relevant, but at some point you gotta throw them a bone and put the title on them. And that's how I feel about Jurassic Express. I feel they should have been the ones dethroning the Young Bucks when the tag titles. But Adam Cole's in AEW. You want to make him the rock star that they make him out to be. And like I said, eventually, you're going to have to split up, the Elite in some ways. I would say, I don't know if it could be anytime soon, but if Kyle O'Reilly, as I said in my review recently, if Kyle O'Reilly is leaving WWE when his contract expires, going to AEW, the easiest alliance would have to be Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly, and obviously Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, would be a thing too. That would be a very, very good six-man tag match, believe it or not. But I can see it going either way. But I think Adam Cole should get the victory here. So the Super Click wins over Christian Cage and Jurassic Express in this six-man tag Falls Count Anywhere match, which should be a pretty hot way to open the show. And I do look forward to that as well. So that's how we open up the show. The second match, I think, will be this AEW World Eliminator, AEW World Championship number one contenders Eliminator Tournament Finals. It's Bryan Danielson taking on Miro. Of course, this was supposed to be Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley, which would have been awesome. But again, Moxley's away in rehab, and again, I've heard he is doing very well. So definitely continue prayers for him as he made that decision himself. But instead, we're getting Bryan Danielson and Miro. Oh boy, this is a tough one. And I mean a really, really tough one to predict, in my opinion. Let me see here. Oh, never mind, I'm not as much of a rush as I thought. So here's the thing. I feel like if it was Danielson and Moxley, it most likely would have been Danielson winning the match. Because, although, I would say this way, I feel like it would not have been as tough to predict. Because that would have been a match where it's like, I could see Moxley winning, and I can see Danielson winning also. Because the reason why I say Moxley will have a chance to win is, even though I know they're not going to put the title on him, he still is kind of in the midst of a character change. He was definitely coming across a little bit more as a heel. Excuse me. Before he took his time off. And him versus Hangman, as I'm going to spoil, my prediction for the main event, would have been a pretty good match. And I feel like Moxley would have been a good heel to put him over. And Miro would be too. The thing, though, is this character that I feel like them inserting Miro in the Moxley spot made this even more unpredictable. Because Miro has this story where he basically claims that, his Achilles heel only is his neck. And Bryan Danielson, I feel, of course, could beat Miro because of him doing the submission holds, and him, obviously, putting pressure on the head is going to lead to pressure on the neck. Again, which is Miro's biggest weakness. But I don't know, though. It's I just feel like, with the story about how Miro obviously has this, this Redeemer gimmick, and he has, this, dominating, Greek god, body, as it may seem like that. And it's also, they keep teasing CJ Perry coming in, too. As much as I love Bryan Danielson, and Daniel Bryan, it will always be my favorite wrestler of all time, the person who got me into wrestling, I personally feel like his role in AEW is he's basically AEW's Shawn Michaels. He's not there to win championships. He obviously has to win matches, though, to keep him credible. But not just he's putting people over, he's there to put on wrestling clinics. And he's in a role where he can keep himself relevant, and he doesn't have to win championships to keep himself relevant. He's just there to put on wrestling clinics. And I know a lot of people want to see him and Kenny Omega fight again and actually see who can actually win. Well, also, the title does not need to be involved in that feud, because that feud is just about who is the best. Who is the best? That's all it's about. And that's why I personally am going to pick Miro. I want to pull out the swerve and give this victory to Miro. I mean, yes, he had a good run as, TNT champion and whatnot, but throw him another bone. I feel like, again, Danielson already, he's had, the classics already. He's had the classic with Omega, in the Grand Slam shows. Of course, he had the classic recently with Eddie Kingston, and did he fight Lance Archer? No, he didn't fight Lance Archer yet. He had a great match with Dustin Rhodes. I feel like he's already, with how great his match that Benson's coming over in September, he can take a loss here. Danielson, I feel like, can take a loss here. Miro, I just feel like, because, like I said, it's tough, because, I just know that the only way that Danielson can beat Miro is by attacking the neck, as everybody else, has to, like Sammy Guevara had to, work the neck for him to dethrone Miro for the TNT title. And Danielson did that too, but I just feel it'd be a very big swerve if Miro won, and to have Miro versus Hangman Adam Page. That's what I go with. I feel like it'd be a swerve because nobody expected Miro to win this because he's just a replacement. And I feel like it would really, dig into this, Greek god Redeemer character and whatnot. Again, like I said, his Achilles heel is his neck. But even though, Danielson can definitely make Miro tap out, it's going to be interesting, though. I wonder, and if Danielson does win, which I will not be upset about, if Danielson does win, he's still running a story where he's pulling out a different submission maneuver to win. He has plenty of options to win. It would just be interesting, though, to see Miro pull off, the surprise victory here. It wouldn't be an upset. It definitely would not be. Both these guys can definitely beat the other, I believe. But I feel like this would be a great swerve here to give Miro that victory. I feel like, honestly, I just feel like he could use it more. Have these two even ever wrestled before, too? Even though you're even trying to think. No, wait, they have. The only time I remember these two wrestling in WWE was in 2018, I think for a Money in the Bank qualifying match or something like that. I think it was. I think. Don't get me wrong, but it was around that time. I think that's the only time these two have ever had a match. But yeah, definitely one of the toughest ones for me to predict. So I'm definitely going to go with the surprise and pick Miro for this. So we got that. Next is a match that, one of the ones I'm probably the least excited about. This tag match is kind of a very last minute match that's added this past week. Pac and Cody Rhodes teaming up to take on Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. Now, this alliance still with Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo again is still very random. And then also, we've seen Cody Rhodes and Malachi Black 3 times already. And Pac and Andrade have had like an ongoing feud throughout the fall. Of course, everyone's big thing about this feud is this what is leading to Cody Rhodes turning heel? And we all know that Cody Rhodes has came out and said that he would not turn heel on this company, even though it be the golden opportunity to do so. Cody Rhodes is AEW's John Cena. Cody Rhodes is AEW's Roman Reigns. People are not behind babyface Cody Rhodes anymore. They're ready to see something new with Cody. And him turning heel, again, here's an opportunity again where the table is set for it. AEW just has to just do it. Just do it. It's like they're holding this Band-Aid, they just need to just rip it right off. And it's a fresh healed wound, Cody Rhodes as a heel. Now, him turning heel and attacking Pac, which would be completely random, because they only just randomly decided to team up this past week because they both, again, have had issues with Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. But either way, definitely Black and Andrade need this victory. I mean, Malachi Black seems fine. Andrade needs to get victories. He hasn't really wrestled too much since he came over to AEW back in the beginning of June. Or was it? It was right after. It was right after. I think it was the Fallout show after Double or Nothing. When he made his debut. I think they definitely need the victory more. Have the victory, and again at this point, Malachi Black's story is he's getting under the skin of Cody Rhodes. He is, destroying the Nightmare family. Again, even though Cody beat Malachi Black, this feud's still continuing. It's just like, you think that would have been it. But if they're really going to continue this feud and have this match, have this be where Cody Rhodes embraces that dark side and turns heel. And it doesn't have to be him, attacking Pac. Him and Pac doesn't even have some sort of a bond teased, I feel like. He can just, accept that dark side. Heck, if they want him to turn heel, have him attack Arn Anderson. Have him attack Arn Anderson. Have that be the case. Have that be the way. Because him attacking Pac, it would just feel random. Because yes, they're teaming up, but it's just like, they just showed up randomly in the same ring, and then they just weren't. There's no bond that feels formed between Pac and Cody Rhodes. And heck, there's still, even though they've been teasing this random alliance with Black and Andrade, it's like, I don't get the story of that either. But Black and Andrade need this victory more than Cody Rhodes and Pac. So I would say Black and Andrade win this, and Cody goes heel. Attack Arn Anderson. Attack him. That will be Arn Anderson. So yes, that's that match. Let's do one more and then we'll check the live chat. Next match is another one. I had a very hard time predicting this one. But then I thought about it more throughout the day, and then I'm like, maybe I can see why they would go this route instead. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. Boy, oh boy, is this going to be good. Of course, the promos between these two, knowing how excellent both of these men are on the mic, is what sold this to me. Yes, they're definitely not the best in-ring performers, but they're two of the best on the microphone. And again, all they had to do was just be them. Make this personal. Just tell the story about how, Eddie Kingston, wrestled in the same scene as, Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, the Young Bucks, all these other guys who wrestled back in ROH and whatnot. They have history, in other companies. And of course, they're not afraid to acknowledge that. AEW, to me, is just, they honor all wrestling. It's not just about AEW this, AEW that. It's like, they mentioned, obviously, this goes back even further than AEW. It's a personal rivalry. And to me, at first, I was just like, it was very tough for me to read it first. Because I'm like, okay, Eddie Kingston needs a bone thrown. He's wrestled how many matches right now, and he's had a few pay-per-view opportunities. He wrestled in an I Quit match last Full Gear against Jon Moxley for the AEW World title. He wrestled at was he in Double or Nothing? I can't remember. Well, I definitely remember he did wrestle at Double or Nothing when him and Moxley took on the Young Bucks for the World Tag Titles. I thought they were going to get the tag titles. They did not. And even back at All Out, he wrestled for the TNT title and lost again. So I'm just like, Eddie Kingston's awesome, but like, when's he going to get that big victory? But I feel like that's a story that still has its mileage. The promos that CM Punk cut, basically saying how, like, Eddie continues to prove that, although he's great, he never did get on their level. He doesn't capitalize in the big moments. And, Eddie obviously is hungry to prove that. And that's all it needs to be. But at first I'm like, maybe Eddie should win this and prove them wrong. But then I'm feeling like, it doesn't feel like this should be the time where Eddie finally proves himself. Like, if Eddie Kingston's going to continue to be a babyface, then this story still has mileage to it. Like, I know some people think whichever heel it is, whether it's MJF, a heel Cody Rhodes, it very well could be Malachi Black. If, again, spoiler alert, Hangman Adam Page, I'm predicting still to win the main event. Whichever heel dethrones Hangman Adam Page, the next person that has that Hangman Adam Page caliber storyline that people are behind, but he just hasn't capitalized on the opportunities, is Eddie Kingston. So that's why I'd say, it's only Punk's second pay-per-view. Give him the win. And again, keep the story with Eddie going. How he doesn't capitalize on the moments. He reaches the momentum to get to the top, but when he gets to the top, he comes up short. So, it still makes it feel relevant, but that's an underdog story that you can build up well. Of course, you have to take the chance and get it to the point where it's like, fans feel like, it's either now or never. Because that's exactly what it is with Hangman Adam Page. Eddie Kingston, I feel like, could be the next person to fit that role for AEW. So why not set that up still, give Punk the win here, and set Eddie, of course, still in that direction of he's awesome, but when he has the big opportunity, he just comes up short. Had that be how people get behind him. So, that's my pick, is Punk to defeat Eddie Kingston. But this is going to be a good match. Live chat, we got JR Camp. What's up, JR? I think Tax can return on 30 Roads. I think the Bastard Facts can turn on Cody Rhodes. Pat can go without his Raw and go with Andrade. I'm not sure what he's trying to say there. Will Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar be the one to beat Roman Reigns for the Universal title? I hope not. Definitely not. Again, it should not be Brock Lesnar. It can't be Brock Lesnar. Has to be somebody unique. The only problem is at this point, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? When you took away the biggest option you had, the best option I still thought they had was Keith Lee, but nope, he gone. But, yeah. But that's for another day. But, so, match number 6. The next match. The, one of the matches I feel that it's a little bit more predictable. The Lucha Bros, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, taking on FTR's, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, who are the AAA Tag Team Champions. FTR, of course, became the AAA Tag Team Champions by defeating the Lucha Bros. Now they're trying to take away the AEW World Tag Titles. Like I said earlier, I don't mind. I like the Lucha Bros. I still feel, though, they should have kept the belts on the Young Bucks. but fine. I don't see the belts changing here, though. I think the Lucha Bros will win and retain the titles. Just have a good match. I mean, this is going to be a match also with, like, their strange, styles, like, high flying by the Lucha Bros and, like, the old school, very simple, no flips, just fists. Well, that's their catchphrase in WWE, of course, philosophy. But just like the old school, ground and pound wrestling that, the not the Revival, FTR do. It's going to be a weird clash of styles, but it'll still be a good match. It's not going to top off, though, Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks at All Out, or the Young Bucks and Jon Moxley to Eddie Kingston from Double or Nothing. Those are my two matches of the year candidates so far. But I think the Lucha Bros do retain here over FTR. Next match is another one. Most of these singles matches were tough for me to predict. Like I said, I came to a conclusion with Punk and Kingston. Even though I picked Miro for Danielson and Miro, I still can't tell you for sure who's going to win. I don't even know who the heck is going to win this match. Darby Allin and MJF, two of the young, upcoming, pillars of AEW, as they call themselves. The future, of AEW. These guys are both young. I think Darby Allin's my age. MJF's like 2 or 3 years younger than me. They both have many, 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 many more years ahead of them. It was tough to pick, because I'm thinking, okay, MJF does not really need another victory right now. But here's Darby Allin. But Darby Allin just lost to Punk at the last pay-per-view, so I hate to see him lose again. But if he lost, he'd still be okay. He's not going to go... I mean, I would love to see him go after the world title against Kenny Omega, but I don't think Kenny's retaining, because I feel like this is the time to capitalize on Hangman Adam Page. MJF, though, winning could mean he could be... I feel like, again, him, a heel Cody Rhodes, Malachi Black could be the three people who possibly dethrone, or maybe Wyndham Rotunda could be the one to dethrone Hangman Adam Page, because a lot of people, including myself, don't think Page is going to be champion for too long. But this could be where they of course throw the bone and have MJF win the title. MJF win this match and go on to win the world title. Again, he's a world champion for sure. But like I said, this match, again, was just hard to predict, but I'm sticking with MJF. I can definitely see him or Darby winning this match. It's even down the middle. But I think, personally, the options are a little bit more open with MJF. Now, you could have Darby win, though, and maybe he could be the one to feud with Wyndham Rotunda. Maybe Wyndham Rotunda costs Darby Allin the match. Like their personas, I can definitely see them both colliding. Because I've thought through this whole scenario, this whole show, to think, where would Wyndham Rotunda fit in? As I still want to see him debut at the show. I still think this is the show from the Pier, because this is his first pay-per-view since his 90-day no-compete clause is up. But I think this is one option. The second option, which I will not take credit for, will be in the main event. I will not take credit for, because it's an idea I heard off of a different podcaster I heard. But yeah, I think MJF gets the victory here over Darby Allin. But this will be another good match. Match number 8, it's this Minneapolis street fight between the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho, Santana Ortiz, Jake Hager, and the TNT champion, Sammy Guevara, taking on America's Top Team, All Ego Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, two other guys, what is it, Junior, let me see here, it's Junior Dos Santos and Andrea Arvosky, whatever his name is, and Dan Lambert. This is a Minnesota street fight. Now, I do think it's appropriate that Dan Lambert got inserted into this match. I do. With the story and everything, obviously, the person obviously that they're looking to shut up is Dan Lambert. He's the one getting the heat. He should be the one, getting his comeuppance. Which, because of that, is why I'm definitely picking the Inner Circle for this one. This one is a little bit more obvious, even though it's not completely. Because if it wasn't for Dan Lambert being in this match, I honestly would have wanted to see the America's Top Team to win. Mainly because I dig Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. They've been, kind of like, getting, they feuded with Darby Allin and Sting. They lost at Double or Nothing against Sting and Darby Allin. And then they had Ethan Page lose to Darby Allin. Like, both of them are talented. I like them both Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Like, honestly, I'll say this. I wouldn't mind seeing them being the ones to dethrone the Lucha Bros. That's my team I'm picking to dethrone the Lucha Bros. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, the Men of the Year. I dig them. But, again, they're another team that's, like, they're not being thrown a bone. Like, any big opportunity they're getting, they're losing. So, if it wasn't for Dan Lambert being in this match, I would have definitely have picked America's Top Tag Team. But honestly, I think it's going to be Inner Circle. Because obviously the person taking the pin here is Dan Lambert. He's basically this year's Pat McAfee. Well, except the fact that Pat McAfee actually wasn't too bad in the ring in the end. But now he's done in the ring, well, for now at least, and he's on color commentary on SmackDown now. But Dan Lambert's the celebrity who's going to get his butt kicked and get shut up for running his mouth on the microphone. So, that's what I picked. Like I said, if it wasn't for that, I would have definitely picked America's Top Tag Team. Because like I said, I really dig Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. But yeah, that's what I'm going to pick here, is them. The Inner Circle winning this match. And then the next match is the AEW Women's World Championship match with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, the one who's getting it on with Adam Cole, baby, taking on Ty Conchi. This is obvious. Britt Baker's retaining here, no doubt about it. But this will be a great opportunity, one of those matches where it's going to be a good opportunity for Ty Conchi to, definitely, have a moment. Definitely have, like, her, coming out party and whatnot. And, just like, that, the match where she really shows she's serious. She's a serious contender. And I felt that for a while. She could also be someone who could definitely be a good TBS champion someday. I mean, a world champion? Definitely. Because let's face it, Ty Conchi, they didn't give Ty Conchi much of a shot at all in WWE. Other than her being in the 2 Mae Young Classics, and her kind of randomly being, very briefly, the female that was kind of working with the Undisputed Era whenever they were feuding with Sanity. Other than that, they did not do anything with Ty Conchi. They didn't give her a shot at all. And honestly, it's like, I kind of view her as the women's division of the Bobby Fish of the women's division. Because, like I said, I know it's still recent, but I didn't dig Bobby Fish as a single star at all. And I didn't think he was here to stay for AEW. But the matches that Bobby Fish has had, I'm like, okay, he's actually much better as a single star than I thought. Which, of course, in return, will make him an even better tag team specialist whenever Kyle O'Reilly comes over to AEW. Ty Conchi, she's good. Again, WWE just did not give her the shot. And I think even though she's going to take the loss here against Britt Baker, I think she's going to, really, gain a lot more attention from this match than she probably would. So, I picked Britt Baker to win, but I think Ty Conchi is going to look excellent in this match. So I'm hoping she definitely puts on the showing that she deserves. Like I said, she's she's really proven herself for sure has come to AEW. She's definitely a serious contender in this women's division, and definitely a serious name also to not roll out. But yeah, I got Britt Baker winning this match. And then alas, the main event, the match we've been wanting to see. We actually got this match at last year's Full Gear as the number one contender. Like Aleister Black and Andrade Cien Almas in NXT, 1 year later, they fought again, and on the same, well, not the same pay-per-view, but, same, time of the year, at a takeover. WrestleMania weekend was when Aleister Black made his NXT debut. A year later, at WrestleMania weekend, Aleister Black won the NXT Championship. Well, it all comes full circle here again. Last year at Full Gear 2020, Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page opened up the show, and Kenny Omega won that match and became number one contender for the AEW World Championship. He would go on to then defeat Jon Moxley at Winter is Coming on December 2nd last year to win the AEW World Championship. Now, for a while, up until maybe this summer, I thought they were going to ride this out with Kenny Omega until next year's Revolution, because he won. Not only was he the AEW World Champion, he had a AAA World title, I think it was, or something from AAA. He won both. Well, he won the TNA/Impact World title at Rebellion, which I actually watched that match against Rich Swann. It was a good match when I checked out Impact's Rebellion with my good friend. I thought he was going to ride out all the way till Revolution, so he could at least go to Wrestle Kingdom in January and win New Japan's main title there. Because he literally was be treated like the wrestling god, like the best wrestler in the world. It's like, you want to do that? Works with me for Kenny Omega. But then they had him drop the Impact World title to Christian Cage, which was definitely a surprise. So now I'm thinking, okay, they're doing it sooner. And, they've had Kenny as champion a long time. And I'm satisfied with Kenny Omega's reign. And the thing, too, was Kenny Omega had some feuds, like that triple threat match at Double or Nothing. To me, it was like, this should have been just like a filler feud. But that match even made me think that Pac and Orange Cassidy were going to win the match. Like, that was one of those feuds that was like, it was even better than I thought it would be. But then we have Hangman Adam Page, who of course has a long history with Kenny Omega in AEW. They were AEW World Tag Team Champions. His relationship with the Young Bucks was always tested when they were together. They were at first going to turn Hangman Adam Page heel, which is why, of course, he cost them their spot in the Number One Contenders tournament in the summer of 2020. But then, of course, with how much more attention Hangman got by just being a badass, like, he basically became the Stone Cold Steve Austin, type babyface for AEW. And I still go back to even saying, listen to how over he was when he had that match to open up Double or Nothing against Brian Cage. That match, holy smokes. That was a hot match, and it was awesome. And of course, he's been, friends with people in the Dark Order. And he's come so close, but then he's fallen. So close, then he's fallen. Then he went away for a few months because he became a father. Allowed us to miss him. Returns in that casino ladder match just like a month or so ago as the Joker, and he wins the opportunity, and is coming full circle again with this whole story. We've been saying this from the beginning, ever since Kenny Omega won the world title. Hangman Adam Page needs to be the one to dethrone Kenny Omega. Not just that, Hangman also needs to be the first person to kick out of the one-winged angel. Nobody has so far, I'm pretty sure. Well, in AEW at least. I don't think anyone has. But, like I said earlier with Eddie Kingston, Hangman Adam Page, not just Hangman Adam Page, think of Sami Zayn's run in NXT, of what led him to winning the world title in NXT. You had to basically build them up as that person to get all the babyface sympathy behind him you can. To the point where it's like, he came up short, but they kept you invested. They wanted him to see them overcome the odds. And they made you believable that, okay, yes, he can come up on the odds. It's one of those stories like where you have to have it come to the point where it's like, you either do it now or that's it. At the point where it's like, not like, okay, do it now, and then, if they do it, we don't care. No. Do it to the point where, do it now or else, but we still care. And that's the moment we have right here with Hangman Adam Page. Which is why this is a must-win here for Hangman Adam Page. And I'm picking him to win. And then, afterwards, and again, this was not my idea, but I heard this, I'm like, it would make sense. Several people think that what should happen is, since Hangman Adam Page has formed a bond with the Dark Order, what should happen is, they've teased, the Dark Order splitting up for a while now. And ever since that Rochester show where Amanda Huber got them back on the same page, no pun intended, it's kind of like how it was with the Shield in 2014. They were teasing the heck out of them breaking up, and then all of a sudden, at that Shield Summit, they, realistically got them back on the same page. I say realistically because it's believable. And then the turn happens when you least expect it. Well, even though I'm saying least expected, it could happen here. What if this is the match after the celebration where the Dark Order come out to celebrate with Hangman, and then a portion of them, like Evil Uno and Stu Grayson or whatnot, this is where they turn on Hangman Adam Page, and they turn because the portion of the Dark Order that's meant to become a certain somebody's happens, and they let him in. Meaning, Wyndham Rotunda debuts to end the show and splits the Dark Order, or it could be the whole Dark Order, who knows. And he basically, once Hangman Adam Page gets up top, and here's the thing, that would also be a realistic story to have, to put the title on Wyndham Rotunda, for him to be the one to dethrone Hangman Adam Page. Because, again, Hangman does all that work, he gets to the top, and the ones he thought he could trust most turn on him, and the person who takes away, takes away what all he had, also takes away his glory. That could be a very, very good way to debut Wyndham Rotunda. And again, that was not my idea, but when I heard a couple people pitch that, I'm thinking that would make a lot of sense. Because like I said, the Dark Order teasing it splitting up, again, you could easily make it feel like how the Shield split up. Again, have them obviously bickering for a while, have them back on the same page, make you to believe they're okay. Then when they're on their highest note, which their highest note here is Hangman Adam Page, the person that they want to stick by and believe in, wins the title, and that's where they turn their backs on them. Could be half the Dark Order, or could be all of the Dark Order. You never know. But I'd say either that, or with Darby Allin, could we be seeing Wyndham Rotunda debuting at Full Gear. I want him to appear on this show. I want him in AEW. I want him. But that could be how it happens. And that, my friends, is AEW Full Gear. Preview and predictions. Again, the 10 matches on the show, including the buy-in matches. My predictions are Shida and Rosa winning on the buy-in match. The Super Click winning the Falls Count Anywhere match. Miro defeats Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Championship Number Contenders Eliminator match. Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo win against Pac and Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes turns heel by attacking Arn Anderson. CM Punk defeats Eddie Kingston. The Lucha Bros retain over FTR for the AEW World Tag Titles. MJF wins against Darby Allin, even though although I could see that going either way. Inner Circle defeats America's Top Team in the Minneapolis Street Fight by destroying Dan Lambert. Dr. Britt Baker retains the AEW Women's World Title, and Hangman Adam Page wins the AEW World Championship. It's a do-or-die night for Hangman Adam Page. So guys, let me check the live chat, but that's my predictions. Again, like I said also before, do not expect a Full Gear review until probably Monday. Like I said, I'm going to my friends after this to watch Full Gear. And then I'm just leaving straight for my friends after the show, going down to my girlfriend, spend the whole day with her on Sunday. So that's that. Live chat before we go off the air. We've got I was trying to say that I think perhaps going to turn on Cody Rhodes. Pac is going to turn on Cody, and Anderson's going to be his new manager. Okay, I mean, I'm not going to knock that completely, but Cody needs that turn more than anybody else right now. Cody needs to turn heel because he's got the people booing him already. He's got the heat behind him, and Pac attacking Cody, that's going to get people to cheer. So I kind of disagree with that, but I wouldn't completely down that either. Is Braun Strowman going to come into, or do you think All Elite Wrestling, if it ever does, maybe sooner or later, about Bronson Reed? What do you think about that? Braun Strowman in the AEW, nah. I don't think AEW needs Strowman. I think Strowman should go to Impact. I think Strowman should stay in Impact, go to Impact. Although I have heard rumors he's trying to get his job back. He's one person I can definitely see going back to the WWE, even though it would be stupid, though, because, like I always said about Braun Strowman, to me, was booked WWE didn't want him to be at the top, but he was only at the top when they needed him to be at the top. Not when the fans wanted him at the top, when the company needed him to be at the top. Because the moment he was needed at the top anymore, they got rid of him. So it'd be very crappy for them to bring him back and do the same thing to him, but I don't see Braun Strowman in AEW. Bronson Reed? I don't know. Like I said, I was growing on Bronson Reed for sure, but then they released him, so they would have to do something to get behind Bronson Reed. Both of them, I could see maybe going to Impact. Just my opinion. What about Bryan Danielson becoming TNT champion? I'm not going to knock that one. I mean, like I said, I don't. If he wins the title, I'm not going to be upset. But I just feel like he's still booked in that position where, he doesn't have to win a championship to put on good matches. Although I will say, I think he would make a pretty good TNT champion. Like, he would definitely be the type of person who would, him having a TNT title run with John Cena's U.S. title run back in 2015. He would definitely, put a lot of people over and make them, well, not as him losing matches, but he would definitely, really give opportunities to make some superstars in AEW really shine. I'm sorry, wrestlers in AEW shine. So I'm definitely, I would rather see him be TNT champion than world champion. Again, if he's ever world champion, not going to hate on it. We have Felipe Peters, what's up, in here. JR says he thinks Wyndham Rotunda will come in and cost Hangman Adam Page connection with Brody Lee, and I think Bray Wyatt's amazing new Exalted One. Basically, he thinks that he'll be a new leader of the Dark Order, which I could definitely see. Chris Jericho, yes, I agree. Dr. Britt Baker wins, and Hangman Adam Page wins for Felipe, or whatever your name is. If I mispronounced, I do apologize. But good stuff in the live chat, guys. And again, that's our predictions for AEW Full Gear 2021. Show starts in about an hour and a half. I just have to, just chill for a few minutes, kill a couple more minutes, and then I will be on my way to my friends, and I will be definitely doing. There's no, as of now, I don't think there's going to be any live reactions. I would do the main event, but I know one of my friends has to leave early, so it'll be a little bit pointless to do live reactions. Like I said, if the match is that good, I may later go back and do like a retro live reaction to that match with Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega. But other than that, that's all I got. So guys, what are your predictions for AEW Full Gear 2021? Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video, subscribe for more content on my channel, and follow me on Twitter at DemandAir93. Till then guys, I'm checking out. Enjoy your night. Enjoy the show. See you guys Monday night for my Full Gear review. Until then guys, I'm checking out. Have a great rest of your night. Peace out everybody.